Are live on a Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so today we're gonna have some stuff to talk about. Um, we're gonna shoot the shit about some college football. We got some we only have like a one NFL story that a bunch of injuries and stuff like that, but really one main that came out. We're gonna go over some WWE stuff tonight, SmackDown a little bit, and also some news that came out about wrestling. Not much in baseball going on right now. It's kind of shut down. I think a lot of teams are just trying to figure out exactly what they want to do here as free agency's about to start. Possibly going to start getting some more baseball news probably around December, January. Kind of quiet right now. I think teams are trying to meet up with their owners and their coaches and their general managers and trying to figure out exactly what the future of their teams are. So yeah, not too much going on in baseball right now. So this is basically in a basketball. I think we're gonna leave basketball alone tonight. Not much either on that side. Mainly gonna talk about football and wrestling here tonight on a damn Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So college football tonight. It was a fun day of college football. Let me get the excuse me, I am stuttering on a freaking Saturday. I beg your pardon. Let's see here. I believe it was week 10, if I'm not mistaken. Okie dokie, ladies and gentlemen. So it wasn't the most entertaining week of college football. No Pinocchio. I think the first team, 38-17, USC beats Northwestern. USC plays really good at home. When they got on the road, they do struggle. But at home, they're a really good football team. So they get the W. Georgia beats Mississippi State 41-21. Kind of an easy win there for Georgia. Tulane upsets Memphis 38-32. So a nice little upset there for Tulane. This game was supposed to be really good. It turned out to be a blowout. Texas Tech beats BYU 29-7. I thought that the start time really messed up BYU. BYU's in the West Coast in Utah. I think it was an 11 o'clock start in Texas, but for the BYU players it was like 9 in the morning. I thought that was a terrible start for them. That's kind of unfair a little bit. The game should maybe start like at 3 o'clock, somewhere around there. I don't know. It was a little bit of a bullshit start for BYU, being that they're out in the West Coast, having to play at 11 Texas time, 9 o'clock Utah time. Holy free holy! You could tell they were kind of like zombies out there. 29-7, Texas Tech wins it. Indiana escapes upset Penn State 27-24. They come back and win it at the end there. Fernando Mendoza, kind of a shaky game, but at the end he came back and won it. But yeah, good for them. Ole Miss beats the hell out of Catadell 49-0. Ohio State beats Purdue 34-10. Miami beats Syracuse 38-10. Texas A&M kind of a dominated. People thought this could be a close game, but it really wasn't. Texas A&M kind of dominant. Texas A&M kind of ran Missouri out of the field 38-17. Oregon, this was a tougher game. This was actually probably the best game I watched today, low key. Oregon beating Iowa 18-16. I thought what happened to Oregon, having to go all the way out of Iowa, it's a little bit colder over there in Iowa. So I thought that might have been a problem for Oregon. But this was probably the best game I saw all day, honestly. One of the best ones. Oregon wins it 18-16. This was another fun game. Vanderbilt in overtime wins in 45-38. So that was another fun game. Vanderbilt, Diego Paba. He's trying to survive, man. He got beat up by Texas pretty good last week. Almost lost to Auburn. Diego Paba, man, I don't know, man. I think he's definitely still in the Heisman race, but I don't know. The playoffs, man, they might be in trouble. But at least they held on to the win. Wisconsin with the upset over was Washington 13-10. Nice little upset there for Wisconsin. Wake Forest upsets Virginia, excuse me. 16-9. Wake Forest with the upset. California upsets Louisville 29-26. We get some upsets here in the later games. Notre Dame beats the hell out of Navy 49-10. Notre Dame really figuring some stuff out. The third few games they were struggling with the defense, but now they're starting to figure it out completely. 49-10. Notre Dame, if they go undefeated throughout the year, they're probably gonna make the playoffs for sure. Alabama 29-9 beats LSU. I thought it was gonna be a much better game. I thought maybe the LSU players gonna play better now that Brian Kelly's no longer there. Maybe, I think only he literally got 3 field goals, no touchdowns if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, man. Cause I thought maybe the talent was there for LSU, but Brian Kelly was just making them feel uncomfortable. And they were gonna actually play better without him, but they're still really struggling. I'm not sure what the future holds for LSU. But yeah, man, 29. Alabama didn't look amazing either, but obviously they don't have to do much when LSU couldn't even get 10 points. So that was pretty much college football today, ladies and gentlemen. Not the most exciting week of college football. I thought there were some fun games there, like I said, Oregon, Iowa, Vanderbilt, Auburn. But outside of that, kind of a disappointment, kind of a lot of blowouts, if you ask me. But it is what it is. I think next we'll go to wrestling news. Let's see here. SmackDown last night. I'm just gonna go over it a little bit. It starts off with Cody Rhodes talking about how he's past Drew McIntyre. He's ready for new challenges, and comes out McIntyre with Selena Vega. Selena Vega slaps him, sets up the main event match. Cody Rhodes versus McIntyre. Excuse me. Cody Rhodes versus, what the fuck am I doing? Aleister Black comes out with Selena Vega. Selena Vega slaps him and sets up the main event between Cody Rhodes and Aleister Black. I am having a pendejo moment. So that was the main event. A lot of people were mad because Chelsea Green defeated Julia, and she's now the new United States champion. A lot of people complain about how Julia lost it. She basically got caught in a roll-up, distraction, and she ended up losing. So Chelsea Green, they're trying to do some faction, I think, in NXT, and I think eventually they're gonna bring it up to SmackDown. It's Chelsea Green, what's his name? Ethan Page. I think that they're like the mixed tag team champions in AAA, which means it's a guy and a girl. So they got those champions there. And then they're also, she's the United States champion on SmackDown, and he's the North American champion in NXT. And they have him out there in the crowd, and he was celebrating with Chelsea Green after she won. So they have technically 4 titles between them. So they're going to do something with them probably. It's probably going to lead eventually to, probably going to have to drop the North American Championship so he gets called up to SmackDown. But they said there's going to be some SmackDown calls up. They're probably going to be coming some soon. Let's see what else happened. Charlotte and Alexa, it was Charlotte in a one-on-one match with Nia Jax. But in the match, Lash Legend comes out and she attacks Alexa Bliss, leads up the distraction for Charlotte, and Nia Jax wins. So then now they're teasing a potential tag team here with Lash Legend and Nia Jax. Also, while in the backstage area, while Charlotte and Alexa Bliss were getting attended, the Kabuki Warriors come out, Asuka, and she spits out her mess on both of them. So right now they're trying to do the best they can to get out of that women's tag team division. Right now they have Charlotte and Alexa kind of feuding with a bunch of different people at the same time. It's kind of cool. What else happened? I think they announced more matches for the John Cena tournament. I think it's going to be Jey Uso versus The Miz. And then also LA Knight versus a mystery opponent. My guess is either going to be Trick Williams or Obi Femi, one of those guys. I'm thinking. Again, I think they're going to slowly start cutting up some of these NXT guys. So I think they're starting to realize that SmackDown is really having a problem right now. Like, we'll get to the end here pretty soon, but the top faction right now is my family tree. I think, what the fuck was the match? Talatanga versus Ray Phoenix. Like, what the hell, man? Obviously, I believe Talatanga won. After the match, Sami Zayn comes out and and starts fighting, and then they think he comes out with a chair. So even though it's a chair, it's like 4-on-1, and they still kind of look stupid. How even though it's 4, you can't grab a chair. You're out of the ring. You have chairs all over the ringside, but whatever. But yeah, man. Then the main event happens. Cody Rhodes versus Aleister Black. Eventually, here comes Damian Priest once again and interfering. He's still feuding with Aleister Black. They ring the bell. Eventually, McIntyre appears. He claims the referee out of everybody, and then he starts wrestling Cody Rhodes. And then what's his name? Nick Aldis comes out and suspends McIntyre indefinitely, and that was pretty much the finish of the show. McIntyre screaming at Nick Aldis. He's obviously frustrated why he got suspended. I'm not sure where they're going with this. I'm really not. I'm still hoping that at this point, I don't even know, right? But maybe at Survivor Series, they have another match and finally McIntyre wins the WWE Championship. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, for what we've seen from Triple H is that he doesn't really like to do title changes unless it's like a big show. So Survivor Series, I would say, is one of their top 5 shows of the year. So maybe. But usually Survivor Series, man, they build it around the War Games match. You don't get a lot of one-on-one matches at Survivor Series. Now, I have a feeling they're going to do another Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio matches because it's going to be in San Diego. But outside of that, maybe like a women's match. But I don't know, man. I have a feeling they're going to mainly focus on the War Games matches for both the woman and the man matches. But I don't know, man. I don't know where they're going exactly with this. The guys need some more off time. Jesus Christ. I don't know exactly where they're going with this. That's how basically the show ended tonight with Drew McIntyre being suspended. Whatever. Little football, the main thing about football today is that President Donald Trump has announced that he wants the Commanders' new stadium to be named, I believe, Trump Stadium, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure exactly. But I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. But apparently they're meeting. They're saying that Washington Commanders executives, I think, are meeting with him. There's even talks that he could go to one of the games here pretty soon in Washington with the Commanders. So something to keep an eye on. I think the stadium of years ago was called I'm not really good with politics. It was a president. I think it was the John Kennedy Stadium or something with Kennedy. Yeah. So I think now I believe nowadays this one is called FedEx Field, but they're gonna build a new one, and President Trump wants it to be called Trump Stadium. I think because I think, like I said, years ago they had one called John Kennedy Stadium, which he was a president back in the day, John Kennedy. So now President Trump wants it to be Trump Stadium, I believe. But we'll see how that goes. That was really the biggest thing that came out today in NFL. Obviously, a bunch of injury updates. We're not really gonna get into it, but whatever. But yeah, that was basically it. And then some other WWE news. President Mark Shapiro, who's the company that owns WWE of TKO, he has said that he wants WWE to keep creating more pay-per-views. He said that he liked what he saw with WrestlePalooza, and he wants Triple H and Nick Khan to continue to create more new pay-per-views. He said Vince McMahon did a hell of a job for years creating pay-per-views. Now we need to start continuing to create new pay-per-views. basically, I think he got a little bit of backlash on the internet, on social media, because WrestlePalooza was not created by Triple H and Nick Khan. It was created back in the 90s by Paul Heyman when he was running his company, ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling, I believe it was called. So he got some backlash on social media for not knowing that Mark Shapiro. I'm not sure if he knows or not. I'm not sure, these new guys, Ari Emanuel, Mark Shapiro, how much they know when it comes to wrestling history. But yes, that was not created by Triple H and Nick Khan. That was created by Paul Heyman back in the 90s. The name, the pay-per-view, WrestlePalooza. Obviously, WWE owns anything when it comes down to ECW and WCW, because when they filed for bankruptcy, Vince McMahon bought both of the companies. So that's why they have the rights to all these names, right? That's why a lot of times you see, I think a few weeks ago, NXT had a pay-per-view named Hollywood Havoc. I believe that was a name from back in the 90s from WCW. So I don't know. I don't know in the future what they're gonna do. They're gonna use for older pay-per-views from ECW and WCW that they have the rights to, or they're gonna do what President Mark Shapiro from TKO said and create their own pay-per-views. I don't know. I think it's like a merchandise thing. I think they want people to, buy the t-shirts and maybe the hats. You're right. Supposedly, Mark Shapiro said that the merchandise was pretty good for WrestlePalooza. He said it made some good numbers. And then I think the final thing tonight from wrestling is I think Karrion Kross and Scarlett have been doing a lot of interviews, and they're pretty much saying they're actually making more money right now working in the independent scenes in the smaller wrestling companies than they were making in WWE. Now they said you do have to work really hard. There's a lot of traveling involved and stuff like that. But they said if you hustle, you can actually end up making more money in the independent scene than in the WWE. And then what else happened? I think the person that was interviewing them said that he doesn't think it's smart for a former wrestler to be running WWE creative, because he's gonna maybe he's gonna maybe if he sees a lot of potential with a wrestler and he could get really, really famous, he might be jealous that he can become a bigger name than him. Which I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I mean, I know some people think that Triple H is jealous of some wrestlers. That's been a conspiracy theory, right? That sometimes he doesn't book people the right way because he doesn't want them to one day become more famous than him. But I don't know, because I mean, he keeps booking Cody Rhodes super good, right? So I don't know. But that was a theory by the person that was interviewing him, saying, "Hey, you think it's smart for WWE to have a former wrestler do the head of creative, because they're gonna get jealous and they might not want to." I think he also mentioned LA Knight and some other names, how they don't want them to be more famous than them. I don't know. Karrion Kross said, "I hope that's not the case. That just thinking about it really messes me up. But hopefully that I don't want to think like that." But yeah, kind of an interesting situation there. But there are some people that think that the reason Triple H sometimes doesn't book these guys is because he doesn't want them to become super famous. And then Triple H, I mean, the guy, I've always said Triple H is going to be always, if he's going to be in our top 10 list, it's going to be the heel list. When you talk about the all-time greatest of all time, Triple H is not on the list, right? It's guys like The Rock, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, John Cena, who else? Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Triple H. He's to me, he's on the heel side. I've always said you have to put him probably at least on the top 10 heel side, because he was the top heel in the Attitude Era, right? Although some people say it was Vince McMahon, but at least when it comes to the wrestlers, it was Triple H, right? And if you're gonna put Rock in the top 5, and who was the biggest enemy to The Rock in that era, most people would say Triple H. So right, The Rock was Batman, Triple H was what do you call the Joker, right? So I don't know. I think Triple H, when it comes to heels, I think he goes on the top 10 list. But when it comes to overall, yeah, I don't think he makes it. There's too many other guys that are more famous. I don't know, man. I don't think he would have booked. I think if Triple H, I feel like if he was really actually like didn't want these guys to become super, super, super famous, I think he would just play like a hot potato with the title, honestly. And every 3 months change it, right? Every 3 months we would get a new champion, so then nobody could really get super, super, super over, right? Think Triple H took over. Um, I think literally halfway through the Roman Reigns title reign, right? I think it might have been around maybe, I don't know, maybe like 500 days or something. And I think he was still champion almost 2 years with Roman Reigns. I think so. I think if that was the case, and same thing, he would have probably stripped Roman Reigns out of the WWE Championship way before he got to 1,000 days. Because that's another guy that's ahead of him, Roman Reigns, right? There's probably at least actively right now, at least three guys that are ahead of Triple H, right? John Cena, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes, right? I think Cody's probably is getting to the point where he's probably gonna be ahead in the all time greatest list, ahead of Triple H. Definitely John Cena and Roman, maybe even Cody. I don't think he would. I don't think he would have allowed Roman Reigns to keep the title for as long as he did. And I don't think Cody, the guy has been. I think we had a conversation about it the other day. I think if you go back to like April 3rd of 2024 to now, he's been champion except for like 5 months from like, what was it, even maybe 4 months, right? April through August when John Cena had the title. But if you take those 4 months away, John Cena, that I think it's like 19 months. Cody Rhodes has been champion. I think like fucking 15 out of the last 19 months. He had a 1 year title reign, and right, and then he just got the title back in August. I think he's going on a three-month title reign now, and the guy's probably gonna keep it at least until WrestleMania, with the way things are looking. So I don't know, man. I don't think Triple H is I think Triple H is just a very he wants to save the good stuff for the big shows, right? Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam. I think he's afraid. I think he wants them to feel special, and he wants people to say, "Oh, like this is the Super Bowl, or this is just a normal pay-per-view." And I think that's his way of separating like a WrestlePalooza from a WrestleMania. Like, we're not gonna have any title changes unless it's Wrestle. But it's like, I don't know. It's tough sometimes when you got away from SummerSlam all the way into WrestleMania for a new champion. That's like 8-9 months. That's a long time sometimes. But it is what it is. But yeah, I think that's it with wrestling news. I think that's it with everything I needed to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're gonna call it a night. Yeah, man. Everybody, have a good night. We'll talk about the NFL tomorrow. Holla.